What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel for a massive update that is going to shake the foundations of the AFC North this week. We have some absolutely explosive news regarding our upcoming matchup, and you will not believe the massive advantage that has just fallen into our laps. A top receiver from our biggest rival has just been hit with a major league ban and will not be stepping onto the field against us. This is the kind of break we have been waiting for. And at the same time, our very own defensive monster is on the verge of shattering an all-time NFL record right here at home. This is going to be an electric atmosphere, and you need to stay tuned for every single detail. But before we dive into the deep end of this breaking story, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat of our coverage, and drop a comment right now with your name and the city you are watching from. We want to see the whole land represented today. Now, let's get into the hard facts of this situation. According to league sources and confirmed by reports coming from ESPN's Adam Schefter, the NFL has officially suspended Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf for 2 games. This disciplinary action stems from an incident where Metcalf initiated a physical confrontation by shoving a fan during the Steelers' recent victory over the Detroit Lions. The league office was very clear in its memo, stating the suspension was for conduct detrimental to the NFL. This is a massive blow for the Pittsburgh offense, as Metcalf plans to appeal the suspension, but as it stands, he is set to miss the crucial Week 17 matchup against the Cleveland Browns and the regular season finale against the Baltimore Ravens. From a financial perspective, Metcalf is looking at a significant hit, as he will forfeit approximately $555,556 for these 2 games. The loss of Metcalf cannot be overstated when looking at the statistical production he brings to the table. This season, he has been the focal point of the Steelers' passing attack, leading the team with 59 receptions for 850 yards and 6 touchdowns. To put that in perspective, the next closest wide receiver on their roster is Calvin Austin III, who has managed only 28 catches for 317 yards. The gap in talent and production is astronomical. For the Cleveland Browns, despite a difficult 3-12 season, this creates a fascinating tactical opportunity. Cleveland currently boasts the league's top-ranked passing defense, surrendering a measly 164.1 yards per game through the air. Without Metcalf to stretch the field, the Browns' secondary, led by Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome II, can focus their coverage schemes on neutralizing the remaining secondary options, potentially making the Pittsburgh offense completely one-dimensional. However, the Browns are facing their own mountain of adversity. The injury report for Cleveland looks like a revolving door at a hospital right now. The offensive line is virtually decimated, with nearly the entire starting unit out of commission. This lack of protection and lane opening capability comes at a terrible time because the running back room is also in crisis. Veteran Jerome Ford is officially out for the year, and the team just lost rookie sensation Quinshon Judkins to a devastating injury. Judkins suffered a broken leg and a dislocated ankle during the recent loss to the Buffalo Bills, an injury so severe it requires immediate surgery. Coach Kevin Stefanski expressed his deep disappointment for the young star, but remained optimistic about his long-term recovery, noting that Judkins is a resilient player who the team expects to see back at full strength for next season. With Dylan Sampson also sidelined due to a lingering calf injury that has cost him the last 2 games, the Browns will have to turn to a committee of Travion Williams and Raheem Rocket Sanders. Stefanski has noted that both backs have a strong grasp of the scheme, but asking them to carry the load behind a depleted offensive line against a fierce Steelers front 7 is a tall order. Rocket Sanders showed some flashes of toughness between the tackles last week, and Travion Williams has proven to be a reliable target in the passing game out of the backfield. But the loss of Judkins' explosive playmaking ability is a void that will be hard to fill. While the team record is not where anyone wanted it to be, there is a legendary milestone on the line that every fan needs to be watching. Defensive end Myles Garrett is currently sitting on 22 sacks for the season. He is just half a sack away from tying the all-time NFL single-season record of 22.5, held by Michael Strahan and TJ Watt. Garrett recorded a half sack against Buffalo to reach this mark, and he has been vocal about his desire to break the record at home in front of the Cleveland faithful. This Week 17 matchup against the Steelers represents his final chance to claim the record at home before the season concludes. The matchup is statistically favorable for Garrett, as he will be lining up against a Pittsburgh offensive line that has struggled to protect veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has been sacked 25 times in just 14 games this season, showing a lack of mobility and a tendency to hold the ball a split second too long in the face of elite pressure. Garrett's pursuit of history will likely be the focal point of the broadcast. To understand the magnitude of what Garrett is accomplishing, we have to look at the history of the sack record. Michael Strahan set the mark in 2001 in a season that was surrounded by both brilliance and controversy, while TJ Watt tied it in 2021 with an incredible display of bend and speed. Garrett is doing this while being the most double-teamed edge rusher in the entire league. His win rate against blocks remains at the top of the NFL, and his ability to impact the game even when he isn't recording a sack is what makes him a generational talent. Garrett himself has tried to stay humble, stating that his primary focus remains on winning the game, but everyone knows that the record is weighing on the atmosphere. The financial and roster implications for both teams moving into the offseason will also be shaped by these final weeks. For the Steelers, navigating a Metcalf suspension without a clear number 2 receiver will force them to evaluate if their current depth is sufficient for a potential playoff run, or if they need to be aggressive in the draft. For the Browns, the evaluation of depth players like Williams and Sanders, along with the resilience of the defense without much help from the offense, will provide Kevin Stefanski and the front office with crucial data points for the 2025 roster construction. The game on Sunday might seem like a mismatch on paper due to the records, but with a superstar suspended, a legendary record on the line, and the inherent bad blood of the AFC North, this is a must-watch television event. Cleveland's defense has the chance to prove they are the best in the business by shutting down a Rodgers-led offense that is missing its primary weapon. If Garrett can get home just twice, he won't just tie the record, he will stand alone as the greatest single-season pass rusher in the history of the National Football League. This is a story of grit, records, and the brutal reality of the NFL season. We will be here to cover every snap, every sack, and every update on the Metcalf appeal process as it unfolds. Make sure you stay locked in here for all the post-game analysis and breaking injury updates as the Browns look to end the season on a historic high note regardless of the standings.